Welcome back, guys, to This Much More podcast. I'm Evelyn, and my co-host is
Rollie Vogues.
And our special guest today is
Antho.
Antho. Is your name Anthony?
Yep, Anthony.
And that's why you go by Antho?
Yeah, I've had like 4 or 5 different names throughout the time.
What are your...
I've had Solo when I was like in high school. I had Shadow, Antho, and then so just pretty much those, but still like that's like 3 or 4 already.
No, yeah.
Shadow, White Shadow. Sonic.
Man, I just thought it was cool like at the time. So
Yeah, I know. Like back in the day, right? Like you think like, oh, I gotta come up with like the coolest name and shit. I remember one time I used to do like graffiti and shit, like on just like on paper at school and shit. And I was like, you know how in graffiti it's like a lot of arrows. A lot of people use arrows and shit like within the text. I was like, man, what if I like come up with a rap name like Direction or some shit like that, you know?
Like
that's hard though. That's
like Direction, but I'm like, nah, you know.
And then One Direction came.
Came.
Damn, that would have sucked, right?
Yeah, that would have sucked.
But yeah,
that's the worst part. Like thinking of a name and then like somebody else comes up with it. Like another one. My last name is Lane, Lane. So like I remember I was gonna do like Fast Lane Media or something, and then out of nowhere, well not out of nowhere, but it's an artist named OTB Fast Lane. He's out of Houston, and he just blew up, and I was like, oh, that's crazy.
That's what would suck, right? If you came up with a name and then you're just using it. Imagine, right? If you would have been something Lane, and then somebody else came with the name and they blew up and you didn't, you're like, fuck. Yeah. It's gonna look like I'm copying.
Like I had already pressed up like 12 shirts.
I was like, man, he took my name, started a little beef with him, and then you blow up too.
For no reason.
Yeah.
But so where'd you grow up from? Like you're from here and then
Right. So I'm from Houston. I'm on the north side, Lakewood, Texas. So yes, if you heard like Lakewood Church, that's where I guess the father of like Joel Osteen is from that area, so it's Lakewood, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Well, it's Houston, Texas, but we call it Lakewood, Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to say. But how old are you?
28.
You're 28?
Yeah. I look old or what?
You look 28. I mean, he looks his age.
I get like when I had my braids, people thought I was like 25. And then when I like cut my hair, people think when I was in the military, I didn't have no beard or nothing. I weighed a little bit less, and like they thought I was like 20 the whole time. So
damn, for real.
Yeah, I think you do look like. I wasn't expecting for you to say 28, but you do look 28 or 29.
Okay.
Yeah, between those two.
You cut your hair off just for the podcast, right?
Right.
When did you have braids?
He had them last time he was here.
Yeah, I had them. I've had them since like 2018, 2019 or something like that. And then I just cut it like maybe a month or 2 ago. So, probably about 2 months by now.
Yeah, I think, because I was on your Instagram and then I seen you had posted and I was like, what the hell, he cut his hair?
Yeah.
But I think it was only one picture that you had and then.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, then I just posted something like a day or 2 ago that people kind of see and like, oh man, I didn't know you cut your hair. I was like, yeah.
How did that feel? Do you feel like you felt some weight off your head?
Not that, but honestly, it's a sign of relief because, man, when you got braids and like, so mine was, I had like the braids on top, but I still had to get like a taper and all that on the side. So trying to schedule like a haircut appointment, schedule getting my braids done. It was just like, so sometimes I'd have like fresh braids with like no haircut, or I'd have like a haircut with no fresh braids, and then I got to go to an event, and it's like, dang. But as far as the look, I loved it. As far as the relief, I mean, it just, I don't really feel a difference. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I did whenever I had long hair, and then I just like when I cut it shoulder length. But I mean, that's very different to just like,
Yeah.
So I'm guessing like your barber, it wasn't the same person doing the fade and the braids.
Nah, my barber, he quick, bro. Like, love this dude. Miho, what's up, bro? He's, man, he's so convenient. He makes like 4 appointments in an hour, so he does like 15-minute haircuts. Oh shit! But you're gonna get a pretty good cut in 15 minutes, but it's about like he be on time. He say 3:00. By like 3:05, you already in the chair. 3:20, you out the chair, and it's just like, man, it's convenient, bro. Every barber I know, you got to go like you end up spending like an hour, 2 hours there, and you got an appointment. So
with appointment,
like people have an appointment like, well, at least with me, I had like appointment like at 3 with my old barber. And then like it'd be like 4:30. I'm still waiting. Like, bro.
Damn. Yeah.
So.
But I feel like nowadays people are getting better with that though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like with appointments and stuff and being on time, because it's their look and their business, you know. So they don't want to look bad to clients and stuff.
Because I feel like our son's barber, I feel like she's done in like 35 minutes. I feel
That's too long for me. Like,
for real.
because I'm not picky. I'm like, yo, just clean little fade.
Yeah.
You know, I'm cool. So
just don't fuck me up.
right,
In
like
15 minutes, don't fuck me up.
Yeah, because
go ahead.
I was gonna say, because some people, I mean, if you're not picky, then you don't really care for the real look clean and the razor and I mean, I'm pretty sure you still get that, right?
Right.
But there are some people where I'm like, the barber's probably doing all this stuff and the client's probably like, man, just
I'm good.
I'm done. Yeah, like
like
you're good. Like you don't have to spray me down with no shit. Like you know.
Well, how much is the haircut? Or is
like-
it different prices?
It's like 30, 35 or something like that.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's like average.
Yeah.
Yeah, for right now, because I know like
Next year's
barbers.
gonna be like $40 for I already know.
Yeah, because the barbers are like the prices are going up, right? Like a lot.
Yeah.
So
It's like barbers expect you, like, okay, if I'm leveling up, you better level up too, because my shit's about to go expensive, right?
Facts.
damn, that's wild. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, but it's the way they make their living. So
Yeah.
So walk us through like your life, right? Because you're a vet.
start when you were a baby. I'm just kidding.
no.
So yeah, out the womb. No, I was kidding.
Out the womb.
Well, out of high school.
Okay. So I went to North Forest High School, and it's on the north side. They combined two rival schools, so it was right now it's with Houston ISD, but before it was with HISD. It was North Forest ISD. So you had Forest Brook High School, you had Smiley High School. I don't know if y'all heard of those. Y'all probably didn't. All right, so those were like two different schools. They combined those my freshman year and put us at one location, and man, like it was pretty much 50-50, half for black, half for Mexican, and then or I ain't say, but half for Latin,
Hispanics,
Yeah.
and then the other half was black. So like it wasn't really no white people there, no white teachers, and you got two combined rival schools, like football teams and stuff. So people was beefing. Then different neighborhoods. You got Homestead, Trinity Garden, Fontaine, Riverwood, all these different hoods.
Yeah.
Lakewood, Wayside, all these different hoods that were just kind of like clashing. So for the first 2 or 3 years, it felt like it was fights every day.
Oh my God.
It was bad, yo. It was bad. But like, I graduated in 2012, and then like we was like the last graduating class of that school because they ended up shutting it down and then combining it with HISD. So, so we was the only class of that school.
Damn, that's crazy.
Real quick, just to touch on that, like, cause I was listening to, you're familiar with No Jumper, right? I mean,
Yeah.
So I was listening to one of the podcasts, and they were talking about like, people who grow up in like, bad environments, or you're a product of your, or what is it? You're a product
Product your environment.
of your environment or whatever. Is that something you agree with or not? Like,
I will say you are, but the product could be what you make it. So like, man, I know people that got 4 or 5 baby mamas running around, that got in and out of jail,
From where you're from.
right, constantly in trouble. What else? Beef, or just like how we carry ourselves, like looking over our shoulders, trusting people. So it's just like a certain instinct, but I feel like it's how you use it. So some people use it and they can't grow out of it.
yeah.
I try to like use it and okay, let me let my guard down a little bit,
Yeah, because I feel like it's either you give in to that and then become a part of the environment, or like dig yourself out and figure it out,
Yeah, I've always been the type to think of the whole like, it's like whenever tell me who you hang out with and I can like tell you who you are or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like that does play some part, because you do want to hang out with people that either are gonna be like girls, for example. Like if they're girls that want to party, then that's gonna be the environment you're gonna be around with, right? But if I surround myself with girls that are like doing shit, then that's gonna help me want to do something.
No,
but
facts.
I feel like based off wherever you grew up or like the environment, I do think you don't be, I mean, I guess it depends how strong-minded you are. I think it just comes down to that.
Yeah.
Like on your mentality. Like if you're weak-minded, not in a bad way, right? But if you are weak-minded, then yeah, you are going to become part of that environment. If you're strong-minded, like you said, oh, you know.
Yeah. How can you apply it?
Yeah.
I think what I will say is that like a lot of times you'll have like influences based off of what you see. It could be mom and dad, you know, your grandparents, your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people got money, some people don't. And it's like, man, I just feel like a lot of times some people need guidance in their own way. If you think about like religion, I ain't gonna like dive into it deep. Like, oh, we gonna talk, you know.
Yeah.
but not like religion. You know, some people that I know people that go to church every Sunday and they can't think for themselves. They can't like, you know, they're just stuck in a cycle. You know, oh, I gotta go to church. I gotta do this. Gotta do that. But when you ask them, what are you doing? Like, how are you helping yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't really have an answer. So I feel like it's about how you use, you know, what you're consuming. So like me, I think for myself, I try to, you know, take insight how I see it. But yeah, I think a lot of times people just are used to what they see, so they just deal with it, you know.
Or yeah, like you said, some people do need the guidance from others. You know, like it's just like you have the people that want to be their own boss, and some people that don't mind working for others.
Right.
You know, which is fine. Everybody has.
Yeah.
But that's how you know the type of mentality that you have. Either you're gonna be a part of it, or you're gonna make a difference for yourself.
Yeah,
Nobody else for
like
yourself.
A thought that I just had isn't, and it's not to dive into the religious thing, but it's just as an example, like how you said, like people that go to church and stuff, like it's, I just feel like whether it's church, whether it's anything, but I'm gonna just use church. If they're very like religious and they're going and constantly going, and they tend to like lean on that for everything, then in a way it's like you're not thinking for yourself, you know. So it's like, oh well, I'm gonna let God guide me, or but it's like, nah, like I mean, to me church should be a tool for your faith, you know. It's like, okay, you're gonna go and it's good for your body, it's good for your mind and spirituality or whatever, and then that's your supplement for life, you know, like
right.
But you know, you have those people that are like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, go help out, and it becomes like your job and stuff. So now anything you decide to do or decisions in life, it's just like, well, you know, what's God telling me to do, you know, whatever. But it's like, no, like I don't want to make it sound bad, you know.
I feel like what you're saying is like some people depend on the circumstances they're dealt. So I'm gonna just let God handle it, or like I'm gonna send a prayer up because, and it's like I love it, but at the same time it's like, man,
do something.
Like you still got to write your resume to get that job. You know, you still got to put in the work.
It's on you,
Right.
I think, you know, not diving too deep into religion, right?
We're just gonna dive into it.
I think because I am like a big like, you know, God believer, right? So, but I do think it's like I do say, oh, like God is gonna guide me. But when I say like, oh, like God is guiding me, it's like, because I'll pray, right? Like, but I'm not saying like, oh God, please make these people donate. You know, like in my mind, right? Like if I say like, oh, you know, please help me get donations for the toys, right? Thank you, by the way. And I'm not gonna like just expect people to donate, but I have to do my part to post and, you know, hey, like announcement after announcement, like my part of like announcing that, hey, I need donations, like not just expect that my prayer is gonna be like, hey God, like make it magic and make it happen, like you know. I feel like you definitely have
to let it be aware, because this is a good transition point. So look, all right, you know how, all right, well, at least with me, I've had people where they're like, oh, I didn't know you rapped, or I didn't know you did videos, and I'm like, bro, like to me, I'm like, that's all I do. But to them, it's like, oh, bro, you post like once a month, twice a month. So how you expect me to know, you know? So I realized that, like, you know, you got to be present in your activities. And, you know, it's not bad to let people know that, hey, you know, like you say, hey, I'm throwing a prayer up for this, or I'm working on this, but you're also putting in the work. Hey, by the way, I got this and that going on. So
yeah, because I feel like, you know, like you said, you can pray, you know, and have your faith in God, but even with your faith, you're the one that has to put in the work at the end of the day. You know, it's not God that magically is going to work for you, you know.
Facts.
But with the content, you know, transitioning back to that, you do. So what is it that, that all you do then?
What do I do? So everybody says this, but I feel like I'm a jack of all trades. Mm-hmm. So, and it really happened because, man, I grew up like not having like everything I wanted. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna say poor because we had like food, you know, but but it was certain things I wanted in life. Like, for example, when I got into music. So just to answer the question, I do music, from rapping, singing, not like professional singing, but you know,
melodic
auto-tune singing. Videos, photos, build cars.
Like you build them?
Yeah. Like, you know how some people are like mechanics, they change brakes and oil. Like, I like build shit. So I enjoy it. But a lot of the reason why I know what I do is because I wanted some of that stuff. It's like you want a dope song, but I can't afford the Manny Fresh beat. So so it's like, all right, let me just try to, man, how you learn how to use this program. So, you know, I got in, like me wanting to get into production or doing anything was just
self-taught.
It's self-taught, but for the reason that I couldn't afford to go pay, you know, the dope producers and the dope, you know, the dope car builders, you know, hey, how much it costs to paint my car? Oh, it's gonna be 6 racks. Yeah, I'm gonna go paint this myself. Like, you know, or I'm gonna go build it myself. So.
Damn, so so then, you know, you wanting that stuff and couldn't afford it at an age is what got you into like all these different, what is it? It's fields. Yeah. So out of all those fields, what's your favorite?
So I will say this, I get bored very easy. So like, I don't think I really do any of it for, I take it back. I do enjoy like when I'm doing it in the moment, but I gotta have a dose of all of it, because if I'm not like getting my hands dirty and building something, like even, you know, I've done housework and, you know, sheetrock and stuff like that. I just enjoy it. I've done tile. I enjoy it. Cars. I enjoy it. Cameras, working with artists and creators, I enjoy it. Like music, production, singing, writing songs. But I can't do it every day. I can't make 30 beats for the next 30 days, 30 songs. Like, I'll get bored, you know, 2 or 3 songs in. But so I don't have a favorite. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have to do it all.
I agree with it, because it's like, I'm the same way, right? So it's like we talked about it with alumni, I think, where I've like, I forgot what I used, but like I said, like I've had like my foot in everything, you know? So it's like, it gets to a point where we have like different guests on here, and I kind of like can relate to them a little bit, whether it's any industry except like beauty industry and shit. But so like if somebody came here and like, oh, he's a videographer, then okay, well, I've done videography, like I can chop it up with them, you know, it sounds like, you know, but yeah, so it's like that. So I agree, because I do the rug shit, I do like all this design shit, and she tells me like, you're overdoing it, like it's too much, but it's like, man, I just enjoy doing this shit. Like, I know it can make it easier on me if I let one go, or if I get somebody to help me and do the production of stuff, but it's like, I like the production side, you know? But that's what keeps you the busiest, and it's like, damn.
It's 2 things I wanted to mention. I just forgot one, but I'm gonna try to remember it. So one is like you know, we as creatives, it is good to outsource. So like when I'm learning that now, it's like, man, I'll end up cutting a project short, or like not getting it to the expectations I wanted. But it's because I didn't outsource. Like, I tried to do it all myself. So now I'm not satisfied with the result. Like, man, it would have been better if I had the lighting right on this, or if I like had BTS photos or whatever. It's like, dog, like sometimes you have to outsource. But on the other hand, like even me, I was just looking, like I'm recognizing, bro, you got cable management, you got the like audio ready. So it's a certain process that you have that, you know, I know it's not just, it's plug and play, but it's, you do have to think about it. So like, you know, that's the part I think as creators that we enjoy, is trying to figure this stuff out. Now on the other hand, I feel like a lot of the stuff, at least with me, like I don't feel like it's hard. So I never feel like, oh man, I got a long day, it's gonna be tough. I just feel like I do it. I enjoy it or I don't enjoy it, and I just get it done. So, like, even with videos, I feel like I'm pretty good at it, but by no means am I the best. But it never was, like, even when I got into it, it was never hard to me. So, like, I was building cars, doing wiring. It's like, if I just got here recording, pull focus, you know, it just doesn't seem that difficult. So.
Yeah. It just seems like, because she'll tell me, like, well, we talk about it. Where, like, well, let's find somebody that can edit these podcasts for us.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to do it. But I'll edit it, like, quick. You know, it's not like, man, it's taking me all day. You know, like, I don't have time for shit. So it's like, I know after this, like, I can take all these files or whatever and just, I'll probably edit it in like an hour, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's it, an hour of the day, you know? But I mean, it's an hour you can get back, you know? But I mean,
technically, but I will say that, like, even with you, there's a process y'all do. Like, y'all don't cut your stuff, right? Like, y'all just dry upload. And that's like, that's dope. You know how many people are perfectionists where they're like, oh, I got to be perfect. It got to be like, oh, I was breathing too hard right here. Or I said the word twice. Like, they'll go in and try to perfect everything. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, bro, just, it's good. Like, you know, I got a client. I ain't gonna say her name. Bro, she's like on it. Hey, you know, this was misspelled, or hey, this and that. And I'm like, bro, it's dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just rock with it. So
yeah.
But
no, I think that's what we also like about the podcast, because we don't cut nothing out. We'll mute it, you know, but it's gonna sound like.
No, I got you. Like if it's, I think y'all was saying that last time, like y'all had one person that said something, y'all was like, yeah, we can't put that in there.
Yeah, with Terry, right?
Yeah,
and then
Terry,
I was talking,
Amadora.
and then I was like, oh yeah, and Amadora too, and she was like dropping some names, you know, like people she would work with, and
nah, that one, but you know,
she's like, I think he's an asshole, and I'm like,
and then I mean, at first we were like, okay, I guess, like she's giving us like the names, you know, and then later on she texted us and she's like, you know, I've been thinking about it. That is her work.
Like, it's my career.
It's her
like,
career.
Yeah.
So we got it. Like with her, like we understood, because it's like, yeah, that's your fucking job, you know.
Right.
But if she came with the trust to tell us, you know,
right.
obviously we respect that. We muted some names out or whatever. But other than
that means y'all doing a good job though, because they're like sharing with you, you know, or they just wanted to vent. That's the other part. Like,
yeah, I do think we have people that come and like vent in a way, right? Like, but it's pretty dope because like. We just go from there, and it's just building the relationship, you know, like, like you came here and you were like, oh yeah, I was watching Game of Thrones, like,
right,
you know, like that's just like something that I don't know if your people that follow you on like your social
they
media, they're
know,
like, oh shit, I would have never thought you were even a Game of Thrones person, but then you went like and watched 4 seasons in 2 days or however many.
Nah, facts. So real quick, I just got into Game of Thrones. Within like the past week and a half, I done finished the first 4 seasons. Man, I love it. Like everybody was, even Steve-O was telling me about it. He's like, bro, you got to watch Game of Thrones like years ago.
Shout out Steve-O. He was a previous guest. Well, I was also going to say that Antho's the first one that's going to have 2 pictures on the wall. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think anybody else has 2 pictures.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so congrats on that.
Right.
And so on the Game of Thrones, have you met like Joffrey? That was
that dude, the little kid. Oh, he just died.
He just died. I didn't want to say anything,
like,
but
man, it felt so good. Like I was like, cool. I was waiting for it. I was like,
know,
somebody got it off him, bro.
It was funny because whenever it's fucked up, right?
Yeah.
But whenever, it's a show.
Imagine
it's not
somebody
that
grabs
serious.
that clip. Oh, the little kid, man, he just died. I'm so happy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But he was a little
like
asshole,
it was
bro.
like that's what you fucking get. Like he was, you know.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know how he didn't see it coming. That's crazy. Like he should have seen that. Not like at least
was poisoned,
his
right?
actions. Yeah, he was poisoned.
But it was who was it?
I just finished season 4, so
okay.
they're blaming Tyrion, the midget guy.
Oh yeah, his uncle.
Yeah, so they just.
I love him.
Man, he's dope.
Yeah, he's dope.
I read some. I think he's a Targaryen. I didn't know that. So
is he?
There was like, because something about like later in the, I haven't seen it yet, but they said later in the season he's by a dragon and like the fire, and it doesn't affect him. And then in the episode I just watched, they were saying like the dude he did a combat by trial to determine if he was gonna die. I don't know if y'all remember that. Like so pretty much they blamed him for killing Jeffrey, and they was like Oh.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, they blamed him for killing Jeffrey, and it was like, well, you know, we're gonna cut your head off or whatever. So he was like, well, I want to do a combat. Like they took him to trial.
Okay, yeah.
And he was saying that like the person that fought for him was like a prince from another area, and he was like that he visited when he was a baby, when Tyrion was a baby, and that supposedly his sister was saying like he had claws, or like they was making him seem like he was real ugly, that he had wings, he had claws and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, like I think the whole time they've been hinting that he's a Targaryen. That's dope.
Remember.
I don't know. I haven't looked into that, but
that's a dope ass show though. But
I love it.
Let's go on a quick break and
we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. And we are back. We were talking about Game of Thrones.
Right, so we're out now.
So going back to, you said you were like a veteran, right?
Right.
So how did that, like, you, because you know we were off camera, guys, and we were talking about like Harvey and the flood and all that, and you said you got activated.
Yeah.
So tell us what happened or what.
So pretty much, that's a funny story. Like, well, I take it back. It's not funny, but what pretty much happened was the night before Harvey was like
the fight.
Floyd Mayweather. Who was he fighting against? I don't even remember.
McGregor.
Okay.
It was a big fight.
Yeah. So
wait. Let me ask you. Did y'all even know there was fucking hurricane coming?
Like I heard of it, but I didn't know it was gonna be like that. Yeah.
I didn't even know. I was just like, oh shit, my sister.
No, I think they were just fighting so hard that they created a
my God,
a world disaster. You know, I don't know.
Right. But now, like I was literally at my homie's crib. We was all watching the fight, and then it was over. And it's kind of like raining a little bit. His neighborhood wasn't that bad. I hop on the freeway, and I'm heading home, and I started noticing like the feeder is kind of like, well, I got to my exit, and like nobody was exiting, and I'm looking on the feeder. It's like trucks stranded in the freeway with water. And I'm like, dang, bro. So let me try to go to the next exit. So I go to the next one to like U-turn or whatever, and then I couldn't exit because the same thing. And I'm like, man, like I literally had to like sleep on the freeway that night. And then, like, the next day, my unit was like, hey, we got to get activated. So, I mean, I was in the Army National Guard, and they pretty much serve, like, state and federal. So, like, if big Army got stuff going on, we do stuff like that. And if the state got stuff going on. So, like, we've done border missions, floods, you know, natural disasters and stuff. National Guard does a lot of that.
Like the border missions, like you go to the border, like the Mexican border?
Uh-huh.
And what is it like that you have to do? Like depending on what it is?
They got different like
jobs
areas and jobs and stuff, but it's some people like out there on the water like stopping people from going. They got like, hold on, I might be I'm out now, forget it. So we good. But like you know, they got like these I'm like giving the details on. So they got like these like radars where they can see, you know,
the heat,
like the heat from your body, so they know where you are. They're like, they go grab them, but they were just assisting the border. They got demolition teams where it's like certain areas where it gets bad. They got to like knock down houses, knock down stuff. It's all type of missions that happen across the state. Wow. So
and they pay you, right?
Yeah, you get paid your rank, but
okay,
you know,
depending on your rank, that's what it is.
Right.
Oh wow, I didn't know that it was based off. I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Well, yeah, based off.
And I think, well, to go back to at least the Harvey stuff, like, man, we got activated, and they like trying to make it to the unit. I had to drive, like my unit was off of Rankin Road, and my homie lived in Spring. No, he lived off of 242. Long story short, I had to like pass up my unit because I couldn't exit, and I just drove to his house and parked there. He was a supply sergeant at the unit, and like we literally just called like an army truck. So I parked my car at his house that didn't flood, and then like we called an army truck to come pick us up.
And they picked y'all up.
And like I'm in Jordans and stuff like for the previous night, like, you know, chilling, got jewelry on and black shirt, and, you know, just chilling. And then like it
was a different Antho.
Yeah, the whole different Antho. Like everybody else is in uniform, and I'm like, bro, I ain't got no gear. Like, you know, I didn't know I was getting activated. But yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So they can just activate. Can they still do that now?
Oh yeah, they can do it anytime. Like, oh no, not me.
Yeah.
No, hell no. Like,
not no more.
Not no more.
So
hell no.
You have to quit, or how does that work?
You get a 6. Well, it depends on your contract. With me, I had a 6-year contract with a 2-year inactive ready reserve.
My bad.
So it just okay. Like the first 6 years, you have to like do those, and then the last 2 years, you're not active. But
if they activate you, then you have to go.
Well, if it's like crazy world stuff, yeah. But if it's like they just keep you in the system if you ever want to go back active again. Hey, we got your info. Whenever you're ready, you can come back for like the next 2 years. And then after that time is done, you don't owe no obligations. So then
that's when are you considered a vet once you're in anyways, or once you finish your term?
I think it's when you do your term. I think it's when you do your term. Well, technically, with me, it was a little bit different because I did active first and then I went National Guard. So once I left active, I was already considered a vet because I completed my term. But some people, I think you have to like complete some type of term. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for helping people in your Jordans. I'm sure.
No, it was, man, look, the not funny, but the crazy part was my unit, we was doing areas where like it wasn't that bad. And I had people in my neighborhood, like my grandma, my people, like family got actually flooded. And I'm like, hey, man, I want to go help. Like, we got these big old trucks. Like, let's go do some stuff. And they're like, man, our area is over here. So we already did that. And I was like kind of bored. And Chamillionaire came in town. And he was
I think he told me that time.
Man.
Chamillionaire called me and shit.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's lying.
Right? Chamillionaire came in town and he was trying to put like a little team together. Like, hey man, I want to go give, this is after the flood already happened. But yeah. He was, I want to go give back water, just help out and stuff and do different things. So
that's dope.
I literally like was bored in my unit and I just left, went to go kick it with him. And we was like he, and this is the funny part, people don't realize this, he's super humble, man. Like, it was no cameras out there, no nothing. We was pulling up in apartments. He was going up to like the 3rd floor, handing cases of water and food and stuff. Like, dude is real genuine.
No, that's crazy. Because you know how like Trey and Mr. Rogers have like, what is it? Relief gang? Or?
Right. They was out there too. So I think at one point we had all met up together. But I know Cam was hitting like the north side of town, and then it was crazy like just to see people, because a lot of times people think like celebrities are kind of Hollywood and stuff, but you know, I'm looking at like, bro, I'm in the military, and we did some stuff like dope. We supported, but once we did what we were supposed to do, like it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, you didn't go above and beyond.
Right. So like when people say thank you for your service, it's kind of like, man, I didn't really
do anything.
I feel like I could have did more.
Well, I take it back. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. But you know, there are people though that like really do, you know, get down and dirty and do what they got to do. But just for that moment, it was kind of cool to pull away from that and go kick it with people that's putting in work. So
yeah, it's the stuff you do outside of like what you're supposed to do, right?
Right.
So it's like, you know how like what's the search team called? The one that found Vanessa. You know what I'm talking about?
Equa is
Equa search or something like that. But it's like kind of like that, right? Where it's like, or I've been seeing it on TikTok too, like the divers, the people that dive in the water, where it's like police and stuff do their job, you know, and then it's for so long, but then that's it, you know, and then like they're the ones that go above and beyond, like they'll go dive the waters and shit and like find shit.
Do you know? Have you heard about them?
I've seen briefly, but I don't really know too much.
Yeah, like the divers, you have to pay. I feel like they make their money based off I think you have to pay like a subscription to see like everything, or I don't know how it works, or they sell merch. But it is a group of people that go and they're professional divers. And I remember I saw like this case that it was like super old, and the cops and the people like went to that one lake and they didn't find like the girl or whatever. And then they went and they found the girl within hours.
Oh, wow.
After years, they found her car and the girl was in the car. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy because, I mean, I feel like people do it and you just have to find it in your heart, really.
Right,
to,
right.
Like, do that.
It's definitely, I feel like it's very rewarding to, you know, give back. Like, I remember when I first got into even videography, it was something that, like, luckily I had a lot of connections from music that, you know, people need content, but I was given a lot of like free videos, free photos and stuff like that. And to a certain extent, you know, people do take advantage. People want like, hey, I got my free content, I'm done, appreciate it. You know, they'll toss you to the side. But for like me getting the satisfaction was like, I had to ask myself, what did I want out of it? Yeah. Sometimes it is money. Sometimes it is freaking merch or, you know, whatever. But, it's also a part where it's like, man, it just feels good to do a good deed sometimes. So
yeah. No, it's true, because you know how we have like the toy drive, and even at that, I feel like the parents are the ones that want to take advantage. Because, I mean, it's kids, so really kids, not that they can't take advantage, but some kids can get greedy, and they'll want like 3 toys, but in reality, it's like, no, it's just one, right?
Right.
But I feel like in our case, the toy drive, I feel like it's more the parents that the kids literally would want like a girl, she'd want like a small doll. And the mom's
like, get the Xbox. Right?
Yeah, yeah, literally. And the little girl would be like, no. It's happened to me while I do the toy drive. Like, so I just don't let the parents get out the car.
Because we had everything from like big Nerf guns to like Hot Wheels, And sometimes like they'd want the Hot Wheels, and the parents are like, no, get the big gun, like, and it's like.
So I think it's two sides of that. You know how I see this all the time. Like, how old are y'all?
I'm 30.
I'm 28.
28? All right. So, like, man, I remember people would always say, like, man, these millennials always on their phones. But I be looking at, like, people that's 35, 40, 45, 50, like, on their phone all day, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, like, y'all talk all this trash and we on our phones.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't even got, like, I try to be off the phone. I don't text nobody, don't call. Like,
you know what's crazy though? Like, I feel like Facebook became their market.
Yeah.
The older people, the generation. Like, your mom's always on Facebook.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, they are constantly on social media.
Yeah,
like that.
Honestly, I feel like his dad is probably like somebody that I see that
isn't.
No, and if he is on his phone, he's watching TikToks on YouTube. Like,
my
he
God.
don't
The YouTube shorts.
The YouTube shorts, like, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
so my grandma, I'm half black, half Mexican.
What?
Yeah. So like on my Mexican side, my grandma, oh my God, my mom taught her how to like use YouTube and stuff. Yeah. Bro, she was sitting in her rocking chair for like hours. Bro.
Oh my God.
She'll watch a video and she'll watch it like 4 times, like the same video. And I'm like, Grandma, and she knows the scroll, but
tell
she'll
her
just...
she can watch your episode.
Right? Like,
yeah, we can start talking in Spanish, too. Do you know Spanish?
Yeah. Well, I understand it a little bit, but I can't really... Like, I can talk trash and, buy food and
but
stuff.
not have, like, a full conversation.
Yeah. Like, yeah, but yeah, I know a little bit to where I can survive. That's about it.
That's funny. Our son too, like he's 80% English, like 20% Spanish. He knows his food in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like his numbers, some letters,
What do you say? How do you say hungry?
So earlier he told me before you got here, I was like, oh, let me get him something so he can eat while we're recording or whatever. And he's like, it's in Spanish, it's hambre, like tengo hambre, like I'm hungry. And he said, mommy, I'm hungry, like hungry, trying to combine
English and Spanish.
And then he said, "Oh, hay español," like that. He said it in español, and I'm just like, "Oh my God, it's hambre." But yeah, if you ever are hungry, you can say "tengo hambre."
Yeah, no, I know that. Like,
oh, okay. Oh, well, yeah, you said you can't survive, so.
Yeah, but because I grew up like in my uncle has a shop in Pasadena. Pasadena Auto Service, go get your house. But like, man, I remember like growing up with him, like some of his workers didn't speak like no English, and we just be talking trash, but you catch on quick, like, hey, Marcelo, I'm gonna get out, stupid. Like they were talking trash, they'd be like, oh, you want me to go get the air hose? I'm like,
Hey, so did you grow up in a Hispanic household, or like your dad? I'm assuming your mom's the one that's Hispanic, and your dad's like
he's black.
He's black. So then you grew up more on your mom's side or your dad's side?
Mainly my mom's side.
Mainly
like,
your mom's?
It was because it was like split custody where like some years I would go live with my dad, some with my mom, but mostly my mom, yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. I would have never thought you were like half...
yeah, and my grandpa speak like little to no English, so it's always funny because the way we communicate, because I can't really speak it that well, but we got ways of, like, one, we use a lot of like hand language, like, or sign language. Not like sign language, but
like, hey.
Yeah, you kind of catch up. And then, like my grandma, she speaks both English and Spanish, but she'll, like you can tell she has to like comprehend it. Like if you say something too fast, like, hey, I went to the store and I did this and then I did that. She'll be like, wait, what? And like, I went to the store and then I did this and then I did that. She was like, oh, okay, like I got you.
Yeah.
But if I like, too much, she'll be like, hold on, bro, like,
You're talking too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty dope, though. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, I would have never thought you were, like, half Mexican. Do you know what part of Mexico or no?
Yeah, I think my grandparents are from Monterrey or Nuevo Leon or something like that. something like that.
Oh, okay.
I've never been.
I was gonna say you ever been, but you ever go to like your dad's side and just like speak Spanish and shit? Like,
man, they be clowning. Like, I remember like one Christmas, it was funny because I was, at holidays you gotta like go when you're split parents, you gotta like go visit both sides of the family, and you try to go get your gifts too because you're a kid. But I remember like I was at obviously my mom's people's side first, and then I went to my dad's. They said, "Hey, you hungry?" I said, "No, I just ate some tamales." And they're like, they just all start laughing. Like, I was like, "What the fuck did I say that was funny?" Like, I was dead serious.
So honestly, be honest, who has the better food?
Ooh.
Because I know that's a hard one. Who do you think is like the better food?
On a daily level, I'm gonna say Mexican food, but on a like you want a good homemade, because like at least for my family, they'll have like rice and beans and some fajita or something or some chicken, and that's cool. But then you it's only so much you can do. On the black side, it's like you got like collard greens and sausage. You got like different type of gumbo. Well, technically,
I don't like gumbo.
I like seafood gumbo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's just different types of like diversity on the black side. On the Mexican side, is you can get like I don't eat menudo or none of that.
Me neither.
I'll eat mole. I like mole. Y'all like mole?
I like mole.
I like mole, but I don't like it. I like it when his mom makes it.
I don't ask for it, but if it's there, like
but that's one of the items that's like it's not made every day, but
it's good.
It's good, you know.
Damn. So you were blessed,
right? Like not for real.
From like both worlds, like you got some good food, like.
Nah, yeah, it was pretty cool.
What about your birthdays, like? Oh wait, let me just ask you this: what's your favorite dish from both sides?
I ain't gonna lie, I love chicken wings, so I don't know what side that falls on. But
well, I think it depends. How do you eat them? Like, do you like them with like a sauce? I don't think. Yeah. I think.
Because the times my dad or my mom have made like wings,
they just
it's just like
grilled,
yeah,
and they good too though.
Yeah, they'll grill it like
but obviously with like rice and shit and
with rice or pico de gallo,
and shit,
which is fucking different.
Both are dope, bro. Because like you on that side you get that, and then the other you get like mashed potatoes and
imagine
corn.
Right. Like,
imagine a Wingstop like started giving like
sides. They got the sandwich or something like that now. I ain't never tried that.
But like I'm saying like a Mexican one where it's just like grilled like with the rice and shit. Like
well, I feel like there's a yellow bus over here, and they sell nothing but chicken, and they do it.
For real?
Yeah, it's really good chicken, but it's I haven't tried
like
this
a school
bus. Like,
or?
Yeah, it looks like a school bus. It's a yellow one. And it's like they sell nothing but chicken. And it's like they'll sell you like the pieces of chicken, like the whole chicken. And it's like all grilled and all that shit. But, but damn, now I'm hungry.
Right?
I know. I'm fucking starving.
Oh, but you didn't say what's your dad's side, your favorite food?
I'm going to say wings. I mean, I just...
Oh, yeah, you did say wings. And what about your mom's?
Does it have to be a dinner or can it be like...
No, anything.
Because I love like arroz con leche too. Like,
okay.
That stuff is dope. That's like a snack.
I don't think I've ever ate that, honestly.
It's like atole.
Nah, it's like like the times my mom's made it, like it never attracted me. I'm like,
it's rice, bro.
No, cause she'll tell like you want something, it's good, and I'm like,
you know who hasn't tried it?
Is that the one where they put the cinnamon stick on it sometimes?
Yeah,
or?
It's really good. I feel like that's a good meal to have like on a day like today.
But it's not a meal, right? It's like a dessert.
Oh, you did? Well, yeah, it's not a meal. It's more like you'll eat it like a snack. Yeah. I was hoping you weren't gonna say tamales. Like as your favorite. I was
I used to like tamales, but I don't really like.
Because
the past 5 years, like one, I'm trying to not eat red meat or pork or anything, and then two, also like they kind of boring, like tamales.
Yeah. Do you eat them with ketchup?
Hell no.
Okay.
What?
Good. Because we've had people that are like,
and it's
a must with ketchup.
Terry. You know Terry from Mania? He's a third row, second one.
This is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's half black, half Mexican.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And he's like...
Is it? Oh, I thought that was my homegirl, Jen. That's not her.
And he's like, I eat them with ketchup. And I'm just like, what the hell, bro?
And then he'll make it like, if you don't eat it with ketchup, and I'm like, bro, that's fucking gross. Like,
yeah, no, I don't even think I've ever seen that.
It's like with salsa.
I do prefer like the green sauce. I love the green sauce, but the tamales I like them like kind of dry,
crispy.
Yeah, like not Like some people, it feel like
Not
it's
fresh.
not cooked all the way. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I don't like that.
yeah, he's the same way. He rather eat them like
Next morning.
the next morning.
Yeah, like grilled. You put it on the little
thing.
square thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, our shit like fucking smokes up, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
we did a TikTok. Show him really quick.
I'll show him after.
Okay, yeah, and it kind of blew up. Like,
Yeah,
Oh damn.
well, not really, but
it did blow up. It has like 100K likes and shit. Like, it's
Oh
up
damn.
there.
I thought you meant my bad. I was like, the food blew up. Like what happened?
oh no, no, the TikTok because I was
Yeah.
making him tamales. Like,
Damn.
Yeah.
but enough about food. Back to
Right.
you. So, what we before that we were talking about the veteran stuff, and then your family, and then we went to food from there, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we can talk about like, where'd you gain your interest for media?
Yeah. Oh, he did say
Because
Well,
because he
my
wanted.
interest. Well, yeah, my interest is more so like just literally, I didn't really have the funds to, go pay for the best beats or have somebody had the luxury for somebody to build my car or something. So I just kind of gained that insight myself and just wanted to learn how to do it. I do have influences though, like people I look up to, the Kanye's and Drake's and all that.
But did you gain that interest like while in school or like after?
In school, I was strictly just building cars. I was rapping, like I was always rapping, but that's just in my school. Everybody rap, so it was just if you ain't know how to rap, you was almost like, bro, you don't know how to rap, like. So I guess that, and then like with the slab culture was kind of like it kind of worked together. So I remember like my first time getting into production, I was trying to make beats, but I never had like a bass line. And, I just like, man, I didn't, that's something I struggle with. Like, even to this day, I still struggle with bass. But, I it's a lot of influence from like the car culture, even from the people you grow up listening to, the Zeros and the Chamillionaires. And I listen to a lot of R&B too, though. So I listen to like pop and R&B, Alessia Cara. So when I hear certain, like, I'm real big on melodies and writing. I feel like if you can write and you got dope melodies, you're a dope artist. Like super dope. So
who'd you grow up listening to?
Man,
or like what are some albums? Like, okay, first who'd you grow up listening to,
so
and
I
then
got
like
a list or something. Let's see, or like,
cause like I guess I remember like I'm like, man, I remember gaining interest in like rap for sure. The first rap song ever that I heard growing up was "Wanna Be a Baller." That's like that's just the one I remember.
How you remember that? Dang. You remember your first rap song?
Yeah, I do.
Well, because it's
well,
with him growing up, though. That's
I got
why.
you.
with
Yeah.
Mexican side. So my dad was just playing a bunch of corrido shit and all this shit. So,
Yeah.
but then my cousin, he would come around and he was older than me and he introduced me to that. And then from there, I went to like SPM.
Yeah.
And then from there, we went to the flea market on what is it? What's that flea market?
Telephone?
On Telephone. I was going to say Long Drive. The flea market on Telephone, and my dad bought me a bootleg
Screw
CD.
tape. No, I was kidding.
Screw tape. And it had Eminem on there. That's how I learned about Eminem. And from there, it just,
Dang. So with me, like, all right, music was something that, man, I always listen to what my big bro was listening to. So he's like 5 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So at the time when I was like 6 or 8 or whatever, before that I don't remember like whatever's on the radio. Mm-hmm. But like 6 or 8, I remember like it was heavy on like Color Changing Click, Chamillionaire, Paul Wall, Lil Flip, Screwed Up Click. It was like all the Houston classic stuff. And I remember like hearing it. I remember one time I turned the radio on and I heard like a song on the radio and I was like, oh, they made it to the radio. Like, I was like all proud of them.
Yeah.
And this when I was a kid, like I thought Paul Wall was black, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
I thought it was black too till the video came out.
Man, even when I thought he was Mexican, like when it came out. So, but I remember like going to Soundwaves, buying mixtapes and albums, bootlegging stuff off LimeWire. Like, we did a lot of, but I mainly grew up on Houston culture. And then it was also like from there, I kind of had a love for like women and melodies. So on like around my homies, I was listening to all the rap stuff, but to myself, I was listening
when
to
you were
like
in your feelings.
Right, not for real. Like I was listening to all the love songs and shit. So
Yeah.
So
yeah,
how do
fuck
you
with it.
That's crazy because how do you feel that when you were a kid you would listen to, like, for example, I guess Chamillionaire, right?
Yeah.
And now you're like cool with him.
Right.
Real quick, I want to say like I thought Chamillionaire was Mexican when I first heard him on the radio.
Dang.
Straight up, like it was for Turn It Up, and then the video
you.
came out, and I was like, oh shit, like
Dang.
I've been lied to, bro.
Right.
But yeah.
Nah, like man, with him, he's him and Zero probably hands down my favorite Texas artists. At least from the rap side, like. They were, man, I still listen to Mixtape Messiah 1 to this day, bro. Like his wordplay, the quality wasn't the best. Like I don't know what they was recording on.
But but being like when they screw it down and shit, like it just sounds cool, right? Like being like kind of like not the best quality and then being like screwed and shit.
It was just like that's what stood out to me because at the time I was big on lyricism. So I feel like Zero had the fast rap. He was just so much struggle to pain. I'm stuck. Like he would just go off, bro. Like you just felt the emotion, and then Cam was like he could do the same thing from the north side. So it was kind of cool to be like, man, we got two real lyricists here, and it sounds good. It ain't on some like cheesy, trying to sound lyrical. They going hard because they naturally gifted,
Yeah, for sure. Let's go on a quick break and touch back on this one now.
And we are back, and we were talking about how did you feel growing up listening to like all these artists, and
we're talking about Chamillionaire's flow. Because I like the way he raps, like back then, I like that. Like him and Paul Wall had like this. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a song where, because he would do like a little pause, like, and I'm trying to think like a certain freestyle, like I don't know. I can't think of one right now, but I'm sorry. I'm not as big of a fan as you.
Yeah,
no, for sure. Nah, man, like I think it's crazy to like see some of these guys now, like one, like even mature. So some of them, like you see the difference from when they was like 25 or whatever to now they're like older men with kids and shit. Like, but man, I remember even it was a concert here. It was before or after Harvey. It was actually way before Harvey. Like beginning of 2017. It was like a Bone Thugs concert, and they had like a Texas tour, so they brought like Zero and Slim Thug and everybody. And Cam was like, "Hey, want to go bowling?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." So it was the day of the concert, and he's supposed to go on stage at like 11, bro. And the concert was like not by Galveston, but it was heading that direction. Like it was 40-something minutes from where we were, and it's like 10 o'clock, and I'm thinking like, bro. Like, I ain't telling this, but I'm thinking, like, don't you guys be on stage, like, at 11? Like, and then we was, like, bowling, just eating food at the bowling alley, chilling. And then we go to the show. We get there, like, 10:58, bro. And then it was, like, the opening acts were still on and shit. And he's like, he told the promoter came out, like, at 11:15. He's like, hey, we almost wrapping up. He's like, hey, bro. I know y'all got me for an hour, but my time was from 11 to 12. So, at 12, like, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not getting, 11:15 to 12:15,
Yeah.
So, they had to hurry everything up. But he literally, like, said, like, we all said, we was in the Escalade. He sat in the car and was like just, they was bringing out lemonade and just everything to the car, bro. They brought the microphone out. Like, he didn't even leave a vehicle until it was time to go on stage. But just seeing that, like, what it showed me is like the way he handles his business, and it's like, man, a lot of times like people will try to play you, people will try to like, get extra time or do whatever, but it's okay to stand tall on your business,
Yeah. How did you even get in like that like circle, or like how did you even came?
Yeah,
like...
was it because of Harvey like that time or?
No, it was. I mean, even before that, I remember like. I'm gonna be honest. I think I speak stuff into existence, bro. I remember like a long time ago, I was like, man, I want to be on stage with all my favorite artists, like Scarface and whoever, right? And it actually happened. Like it was 2016, and it was like a show in Fort Worth. And when I tell you, every artist from Texas was probably there, like Mike Jones. I was like, dang, I did say I want to be on stage with everybody, but I mean like performing,
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'll be speaking stuff into existence and. Really, to answer your question, like I feel like I don't really ask for anything. I just am who I am. Like I'm not an opportunist. I'm not trying to get a come up off somebody. I just got respect for the art, And a lot of times, I think people probably see that. Like, man, you know, he hadn't asked me for nothing, or, you know, I was just golfing with, I don't know if y'all know DJ Augustine. He played for the Rockets, played for the Lakers. Like, we'd be on the golf course just golfing, but I don't ever ask, like, hey, bro, can you put me on? Or can, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But I feel like right away, people often ask, like, you know, if somebody can do something for them, hey, can you take a picture with me? Like, even little stuff. And a lot of times, it just might not be the right time. I remember, like, my first time meeting Manny Fresh. It was in 2013. Like, I was buying some rims for my truck in, like, 2013 at American Tire and Wheel. And I see Manny Fresh there. And obviously, he has no idea who I am. Like, I knew who he was, but, like, I just nodded my head, said, what's up, and just kept it going. But it's like, sometimes you want to, hey, man, I'm such and such. I'm trying to come on. I'm trying to get in the game, and that. And then,
but you can't. You
can't do it because, like, it's like, bro, they here to buy. They here for whatever they here for. They buying food or they buying rims, whatever, right? So you can't just, like, sometimes you got to respect the time. Fast forward, like, working with Steve-O, bro, I'm in Manny Fresh's house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was producing records in his house. You know, we was in studio, different spots. So
did you ever tell him you saw him back in, like, 2013?
I never really got to talk to him. Like, you know, anytime I was around, it was always, like, around a group of people. Like, even if it was, like, 5 or 10 people. But it was like, I don't want to be that guy that, hey, bro, one time I saw you, you know?
Yeah.
But they respect it. They're like, you know, they'll say what's up. They'll, you know, show love. But on a personal level, like, when you're actually communicating and talking, like, Cam, that gave me advice. Kiotti, you know, he's somebody that gives me a lot of advice. We'll talk on the phone for 40, 50 minutes just about random stuff, you know? And it's, I think, like, for them, it's, you know, they're doing their part as a big homie. Like, hey, bro, you know, you obviously got potential. You're talented. Let me see if I can steer you in the right direction. And then me, it's like, man, I got respect for y'all. I like what y'all do. You know, I look up to y'all. So it's just like a mutual respect.
Yeah, like, you don't want to take advantage of, like, the person that's there because of who they are,
right?
Which is crazy because I feel like Roland's like that, and I feel like literally because of us being like that, we came across you because Chingo Bling was here, and he's the one that said, hey, like, he reached out to us because I feel like, not that we're likable people, but I mean, I don't feel like we come off like, oh, we're better than you, you know, or anything like that. So when we had Chingo Bling here, like, man, he was so, like, fucking excited, and he was so happy for us. Like, I feel like he was genuinely, like, happy, like, because of everything we were doing. Like, we talked about my brand. Like, he even took some of my brand stickers, like, you know, and he's like, oh, like,
and he came early on. He was one of the early ones. So
yeah, and then he's like, he just loved everything. He's like, man, like, he was really happy for us, you know. And then he's the one that texted us. Well, texted you, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, like, I have this producer, which is with Steve-O, you know, and then you came with him. So I feel like,
that's dope.
Yeah, I don't feel like, because we never told him, like, because he even talked about, like, Baby Bash. Like, he talked about a lot of people, you know. And I feel like we could have been like, oh, damn, like,
can you do this? Can you
hook us up for the podcast?
Yeah, and it's never been like that with me. Like, because I just see it, like, happen so much where people, like, take advantage, you know, or they're like, hey, you know, like, I'm only cool with this person because I'm trying to get with this person or whatever. But I mean, if you building the actual relationships with those people, I mean, maybe those opportunities won't come around, like, because you know so and so, and like, they're like, oh, I can get connected with them.
I will say this though, like, my mindset now is like, it don't hurt to ask, because especially like, if I know y'all, or like y'all know me, and I know that I can tell y'all are good people, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times, you know, they say, like, a closed mouth don't get fed, bro. Now, if it's a situation where they're like in the restroom, was like, bro, you're not gonna ask Jay-Z for a verse right now while he's in there, you know? You know, like, but sometimes it's just, man, even Crystal Poppin', like, I got a record with her.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It was something that, like, man, me and Steve-O did a record. Well, I was at his house. I was making a record, and, like, I started singing the hook, started making a song, and then he came in, added, like, keys and stuff, and then we did a record, and we wasn't really using it. Fast forward, my homie Jill Beats was like, hey, bro, let's do a record. Like, what you got? And I was like, I got this one record I did a few months ago that I haven't really touched. He's like, man, let's finish it. And then, so he kind of just took over the production and finished it. But I was like, man, it'd be cool to get a feature. He was like, who you got in mind? I was like, I don't know, like, and I was kind of going through IG and there's different people. I was like, hey, she kind of like, I've been seeing Crystal for a while. Like, she's super dope, super talented, and she's super humble. And I was like, man, I think I'm gonna reach out to Crystal's people. And but I will say this, like, I reached out with intent, but it was like, I ain't asked for nothing free. I was like, hey, look, this is my budget. This is what I'm trying to do. Man, I really like what y'all doing. If y'all able to do it, let me know. If not, I understand. And they was like, nah, that's love. Like, let's do it. So, like, because of that, like, me taking the initiative, like, we good now. Like, you know what I'm
saying?
Yeah.
So, but it is crazy because I thought y'all knew each other.
Nah, I thought so too.
But that's the funny part is like, so the way I do it, I'll say this. A lot of times, if you know the same people that I know and I know the same people you know, it's like, bro, why haven't we worked together?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when you really just put your ego to the side or put your pride to the side. So I definitely try to come with a respect level. Like, hey, I definitely don't want nothing for free, no handouts. Even on the merch, I think with her, like, she'll have shirts and stuff. I'll show love, like, hey, let me get a shirt. Like, I'll just get one just out of love and support. So because of that, like, it turns into okay, like, bro, even though technically he asked for something, like, he didn't take advantage,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because in a way, like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was gonna get to that too, where it's like my mentality has always been that, like, never use somebody, like, or like, I don't know, if I know an artist, I'm not gonna be like, hey, bro, like, link me up with so and so. But I forgot who I was talking to, or
Filmfoot,
where I think he's the one that was like, nah, like, ask, like, you can ask. I mean, it's what the worst that they're gonna tell you is just no, or just like kind of brush it off or whatever. But I guess, like, if you ask, like, up front, like, if I'm barely meeting you, like with Steve-O, whenever you came with Steve-O, and you mentioned Chamillionaire, if I was like, hey, bro, like, afterwards, like, hey,
it would have been kind of weird and just be like, oh no, but
no,
it's crazy that, like, man, I do realize it's strength in relationships. It's too many people that, like, with me, I have a lot of relationships and networks that I've done, but I feel like I haven't even put those to use. Not use them, but, man, what's the point of, like, getting this artist's number or this DJ's number or this, even the merch? Like, if I ain't saying you got to build everything together, but, man,
you're not networking.
Right. Like, you obviously have interest in their product. You have interest in what they're doing. Like, why not show up and do it, and just show love? So, I feel like if multiple people do that, it'll work out good. Now, there has been times, like, it's a couple artists, I ain't gonna say no names, it's beef. Now, right? Nah, but it's like some people, you can tell they kind of got, like, an ego, or they're Hollywood, and it's like, all right, like, bro, I'll go get, like, you just missed out on a bag, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, cool, I'll go to the next person, or, but because of their, like, trying to look cool for somebody, like, they might have just missed out on their rent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then them would be the same people that'll ask me, like, hey, bro, let me use your car for the video. Like, I got a couple cars and stuff, but, like, I've had that happen where it's like, bro, like, 3 months ago, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So. No, it's crazy. Like, yeah, I feel like we were always like that. Like, oh, we never wanted to ask. But then we did meet AB Filmfoot. And it's Filmfoot, but his name is AB. So I'm always like, And, well, he's the one, because he was like, he's been around, like, a lot of artists, He said, like, he's even been around Drake, right? And it's just, it was the same thing. He said that it was just like, oh, what's up? Or he did ask him about, like, his photographer or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And it was just super chill. And he's the one who told us, like, no, y'all should ask, like, whatever. But I mean, we still haven't asked anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, but it's also the strategic part. Like, with me, even like that Crystal record, like, I knew I wanted to work with her, and it was like, all right, let me. This is where I heard Nipsey Hussle say it. It was like, or opportunity meets preparation. So it's like, I've done it when I remember being 15, 16 years old, like, asking freaking. Even Chamillionaire, like, let me get a verse. It's like, bro, where your song at? Where the beat at? Well, I got this free beat. I downloaded it, and it's like, dog, like, sometimes you gotta have the preparation first, and then with that, a lot of times people just respect that you put in the work. So even with y'all, like, y'all got the video set up, the audio set up, y'all got the merch, y'all got a whole package to where somebody like a freaking TV show or YouTube might be like, hey man, let me chunk y'all something, because it's something that they respect that y'all got a package and y'all prepared, you know.
Yeah,
that is true. I thinking about that because it's like you kind of want to beat whoever you're trying to link with or work with. You kind of want to beat them to the punch where you have something. You know, like
Right.
I guess I'm trying to. I'm thinking of somebody that we're gonna have on the podcast. I haven't even asked him yet, but I want to have him on the podcast, and I've met up with him before. I was thinking about it this morning actually, and I was like, it's crazy how I went up to him but I didn't. But I was like, what am I gonna do with this? Like,
Right.
yeah, like I talked to him in the moment, and then we got numbers and shit, and then from there, I just never
Yeah.
did shit, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so it's like now if I hit him up now and I'm like, hey, can you come to the podcast? Then this is where it's like this is the content,
Right.
and then from there we work on whatever, you know?
yeah, because it's not like it's a professional podcast, but I feel like it's not like I feel like it's a good like setup for what we have.
Y'all are like, I think it's professional. It's consistent. Man, y'all got a good look. It's the look is consistent and the time flow is consistent. And it's like, dog, like people will start some, you know, any career and they'll do it for like 2 or 3 months and then it's like, yeah, I'm done with that. You know, I'm one of those people, bro. I will do something and then I'm like, like maybe this wasn't for me, you know. But the fact that y'all are consistent, like that's a good look, bro. So.
Yeah, I think that's what it is with the podcast. Well, I mean, but by professional, I don't mean like, oh, we're interviewing like the guest. You know, I feel like it's very like conversational. Like, I mean, just a casual convo. Like, just really to like I told you, like, oh, it's just us building a relationship with our guest, and then the people watching can relate to the guest and be like, oh shit, you know,
or giving them a voice. And it's just stuff that you don't talk about like on social media, like on your Instagram. You're not gonna sit there and I mean, I don't
Game
know.
of Thrones, right?
yeah,
No, but like, or talk like all this conversation we're having, like you're not just gonna sit there and talk like, hey, you know, like whatever. Like it's like a platform where it's like that information is out there now. So it's like, hey, if y'all want to know like what I'm watching and shit, you know, whatever, like,
Right.
you know, go to the podcast.
or know you on a more personal level, like, because you know a lot of people do keep their Instagram very private to just their career.
Right.
You know, they don't be posting shit that they eat or I don't know.
Right.
Like,
no, facts. I think that's the dopest part about building a brand is, you know, oftentimes people think it's the content itself, which a lot of times it is. Like, man, that was a good song or a good video. But a lot of times it's like, man, I like their energy. So with Crystal, it was one of those things. I'm like, man, she's like, I'm seeing it. She was giving back to kids at school. Even with y'all, like y'all do the give backs and giveaways. I can tell your heart is good. It's not like on some, you know, y'all doing drugs in the back alley. You know what I'm saying? Like just some cheesy stuff or, you know, like it's. And on the flip side, I know people that are like, you know, artists I might have looked up to in the past. I'm like, man, I don't know about bro because he kind of look kind of dangerous, like, you know, like you can see you'll probably get into some trouble going down that path. So when you build a brand, I think it's dope to, you know, build it off of who you are, and then the content is icing on the cake, you know.
I guess I'm trying to think right now like how because people do change the way they talk to people, like depending who they're around. So it's like I feel like when I feel like I had an accent when I was younger. I feel right. So my cousins Eric and Erica, they grew up in a black neighborhood, right? And I remember it's just always gonna stick with me. Like their neighbor or whatever, he would come to their house, and then I remember he was like, "Hey, he asked me something." And I would speak more Spanish than English at the time, and he had asked me like, "Oh, where's your whatever, I don't know, toy or whatever?" And I'm like, "Oh," and I said, "It's at my home," right? I said home instead of like house, you know, like, "Oh, it's at my home." And he's like, "Home," and I'm like, "Oh shit, house," you know. And I was like, damn, at the time I just felt like
you want to be proper
like,
or something, or what?
No, it's just like it had to do with like me not speaking English as much like that, you know.
Like it wasn't fluent.
Yeah, I wasn't like, I was fluent, but it's like there was words and shit, you know.
Yeah.
And so sometimes like now I kind of like embrace that, you know. So I ask people like when they come here, I'm like, "Do y'all speak Spanish?" Like,
yeah.
And then because sometimes I hold back in conversation of saying shit in Spanish, so it's like,
I got you.
So like now, like if you hadn't spoke Spanish or whatever, like I'd be like, I mean, if you like right now, like I'm holding back from saying shit in Spanish, you know.
Yeah.
But like naturally, I would want to say just random shit in Spanish. And then like it goes back to like I used to work at FedEx, and then right there I work with nothing but black people, right?
Yeah.
And we're loading up trucks, you know, type shit. And I remember I took NyQuil. I was working night shift, and I took NyQuil like hours before my shift. So, bro, I took a nap like 2 hours and then went to work, and I was out of it, dude. I was like half awake, and then the dude in front of me, he was like, "Hey, bro, you all right?" And I was like, "Man," and I started saying like, "Nah, es que no, güey, es que da-da-da." Like I started saying shit in Spanish, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." And I was like, "I just spoke to you in Spanish," and he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, damn, I'm tripping, bro." Like,
yeah.
But it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the whole point of that was. I know what you mean.
Like, I think a lot of times we adjust to our surroundings. So, like, if I'm around, I do it too. Like, I think it's okay to do that because you have to. Even recently, I've been trying to practice not saying and like because I say like a lot.
I say like a lot too.
And I used to say a lot. So I've been cutting. I mentally tell myself, all right, don't say just go to the next part, you know. But it's not that I'm trying to answer for somebody or trying to like do it. It's just like, man, I think it's something that would be dope to have a clean conversation without you know.
Yeah.
It's distracting. It's super distracting when you got like
no, because when honestly, like I feel like I do say sometimes, but I can say it right now.
Now you're thinking about it.
Now I'm just like, damn. When people use like a lot, I feel like it's like you're losing your train of thought.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're having a conversation, but you're not fully there in a way.
But sometimes it is habit though.
It can be a habit.
Whenever you
too.
take speech in school and they tell you like, don't say like, don't say and you're writing a speech and all this, and it's like you watch TV or you watch people have conversations and it's just part of like life. That's how they talk, you know.
Yeah. Man,
I guess I don't put too much thought into it, but
I will say this: I learned from but I was observing Kiotti, and bro, like he'll go from he's the in arena hype man for the Rockets, and he's on the radio in like 40 something cities. I'll see him do like his commercial breaks and ads, and he'll just like have the cleanest recording. It sounds like, you know, perfect. So y'all want to go make sure y'all buy that? Like he's doing a commercial run, and it's just like a perfect, like his tonality, the presentation of it. It's no stutters, none of that, and like no no likes, and it's just super clean. And I was talking to him, he was like, "Man, people don't realize like you have to practice this." And he goes, luckily I've been doing it for 10 plus years with him, right? But he was saying that if that's how he got the opportunity to where he is now because of the practice. So like if he wasn't a good speaker, he, you know, I ain't saying he wouldn't get those positions, but the fact that he's super good at speaking helps his, you know, opportunities in the long run.
Oh yeah.
Like people like big events and stuff like that, they'll book him like, "Hey, can you be the announcer for, you know, from professional stuff to DJ stuff to, like I said, the Rockets and all type of stuff." So it's like, man, the fact that he speaks good, you know, got him opportunities.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, because so how'd you get in contact with him? Like, how did that start?
Man, Chamillionaire. I kid you not. It was a situation where I had just got like a camera, and I was talking to we was on live, like FaceTime live or whatever, and I was telling Cam like, "Yeah, bro, I just got this camera, but I've been reaching out to people trying to do free content and, you know, get some experience in and practice, but like nobody wants to work. Like everybody wants to, you know, nobody wants to do it." He was like, "Man, you should link up with Kiotti." And then Kiotti like jumped on the FaceTime, and you know, he was like, "What kind of camera you got?" And I just lifted it up. It was like this huge camera. It looked super cool. And then he was like, "Oh, bro, let's work." So it was just because of that, like, you know, I was prepared for it, but at the same time, like, I knew like when I went into the call, I knew like Kiotti was gonna be on, so it was kind of cool to be like, all right, cool. That was my way into that. But I'm like, this is a perfect example. You know how I said I met Manny Fresh earlier, like years ago, and then fast forward, you know, I bumped into me and Steve will work together. Now we're at his house. With Kiotti, it was the same situation. I bumped into Kiotti some years back it was at a concert. I knew who he was, but again, I just kind of I think I shook his hand, but that was it. Like I didn't, "Hey, I'm such and such," or nothing. I was like, "Oh, what's up, Kiotti? Oh, what's up, man?" Like, and I just kept it going. But in my mind, like again, I want to be like, "Man, I'm such and such, and this is what I do, and this is what I would like to do," but I kind of hold back because I'm like, "Man, it's not time for that," you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the timing's always gonna be perfect. Like, you know, that's when you say like, "Oh, God's timing is right," but in reality, it's like you're putting work for that at the same time.
But do you ever feel like like, do you ever feel that if you're like, look, you want to work or something, and then if you say like, well, I'm gonna call Chamillionaire, and I feel like you knowing that if you call him, that work is gonna be there, like he's gonna link you up with somebody or whatever. Like, are you ever afraid of that? Like, because I feel like I'm hesitant sometimes. Like, I'm like, all right, I have this connection. Let's say I have this connection, and I'm like, all right, if I reach out to this person and they link me with this person, I know they're gonna be like, all right, well, let's
certain
go.
Expectations, yeah.
And I'm just like, am I ready for that? Like, is my schedule free enough to like take on any work that they're just gonna, hey, well, I need you to come down to, you know, North Side and shit and do this stuff. And I'm just like, damn, I don't know.
I need a video by tomorrow. Like,
yeah, and I'm like,
I think that's when he said that the preparation matters.
Right. So like in my mind, I knew, like in Kiotti's situation, I knew he had at the time he had just left 97.9, and I didn't know what was next or anything. But I'm like, man, he's too powerful of a guy to just sit back. So I'm like, man, he got to have something coming.
yeah.
And you know, it was literally he had just left 97.9, and you know, I'm talking to Cam. I'm like, man, I got a camera, camera set up. I'm new to it. Don't really know much. I know a little bit, but you know, I ain't cold or nothing. So Kiotti's like, man, let's come rock. So like, for like 6 months or 7 months, you know, he was prepping to go to iHeartRadio, and like nobody knew in the city, or nobody really knew. So the fact that, you know, I feel like I got to play a good hand in that, so where, you know, it was BTS content. Even then, he was giving back, like, you know, going to church, giving back, passing out stuff. He's a real community guy. So it was. Then I realized, I was like, man, I'm gonna really need to dedicate some time to this, and it is kind of tough because, all right, that's one situation.
Hold on, let's go on. You want to restart that?
Yeah. Let me restart it
before you go into.
I got you.
All right.
So you were saying that.
Right. So pretty much, you know, it's been times where like I wasn't prepared or I made mistakes. I remember, I could say it now because it's some time passed, but it's a producer named Bangladesh. He produced a million.
Bangladesh, like it had like the little.
I forgot. I don't even know what
I
his
remember
tag
the
is.
tag.
But he produced a milli by Lil Wayne, 6 foot, 7 foot. So he produced a lot of records. He came to the city, and one of my homies linked me up with him. Like, hey man, Bangladesh is in town, and I did a dope video for him. But I remember it was like some footage that we shot outside because we were shooting at 1501 Studios, Carl Crawford and them, and we shot some footage outside. For whatever reason, when I went back home, I put the card in the computer, and I thought I dragged the footage over, and I didn't, so I deleted it. And then, like I said, I had already edited the main video, but he was like, "Hey, bro, you got that footage from we was outside?" I was like, "Oh man, my card crashed." Like, I was like, my card crashed or something, but I was like, "Damn, like I fucked up." You know, I made a mistake to where I should have been prepared.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of. What is it? Dotted my T's, cross my, or what is it?
Yeah.
Cross my
T's.
Yeah,
my
something
I's.
like that. Yeah. But I should have did that, and you know, I was just trying to move fast, and I feel like it kind of made me look stupid because it's like, bro, you know, you're supposed to be a videographer and you deleted my content, you know?
Yeah.
And that was like early on, but and the funny part, we're still good, you know, we still do stuff from time to time. So, like, I feel like if you're a good person and you're prepared, people make mistakes, so it's cool.
Yeah. Damn. Well, who's been like the biggest artist that you've like worked with that you feel?
That I've worked with, I would say.
Or that you've met.
That I've met. I don't even know. I met.
Or somebody that had like a wow factor for you.
I gotta go through my list. Let me see. Let me see.
You keep a list of like people. I used to keep.
I'm
a
going
list.
to my music list, like who I listen to, like who I might have met.
I used to keep a list of people that like I've met that I can go back to and be like, damn, I know these people now. Like
I can't. I really can't even think. I mean, I've. I don't know. I can't answer that.
No, I mean it must be a lot of people like.
Cause what's big.
Or maybe you just can't pick one. That's
right.
why.
What's big to me, like I've never met Jay-Z or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen Drake. You know what I'm saying? I've never like shook his hand or nothing, but I've seen Travis Scott. I've worked with, pretty much a lot of Houston artists. So
yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard to say like who's the biggest, but to me, like who had the most impact, I'm gonna say Chamillionaire, 0. like I've never worked with Zero though, but I've been in the studio. I remember one time I was in the studio with Steve-O and Zero was in the other room with Beans and Cornbread. So just
I was just thinking about them.
Yeah,
like, I don't know why.
I've been meaning to reach out to him. Like it's a project I'm working on, so we're gonna try to do that. But
I think you didn't have somebody because since you already had that wow factor like earlier in your life, that now I feel like it was like, oh, that's dope. More
like now that I think about it, like I've been around basketball players, football players.
Yeah, so I feel like it's not like, oh wow anymore, you know, because you did it, and then now you work with the people that you kind of looked up to. So it's like
the thing is though that
my bad, it just hit me. I know one. So I remember one time. It was a event called Upfront Summit. It's in, where was it? It was in Cali, and it was a presentation for Chamillionaire's app, and I got to like be in that, and it was Snoop Dogg, Shaq, like all of them was a part of the presentation I was a part of, and it was just kind of cool. Like, okay, dope.
That was like,
you know. So
E40 was there or not? Because I know he's big on
E40. I don't think E40 was there. He's involved with it though. Yeah.
That's crazy. Combos, right?
Yeah. But the fact that like Snoop Dogg was like
there,
Shaq was there.
Yeah.
You know, it was crazy.
That's pretty dope.
Big. No, I was gonna say, damn, what was I gonna say?
I knew you were gonna fucking forget. He
I'll
always
probably mess it up.
Yeah.
No.
No, cool. It always happens to him. He'll have like a thought and then it's just like
that happens to me too.
Wow. It's like floating away. Like
But yeah, nah. I mean, anyway, we can move forward or whatever. Now, because I want to touch on like your rap and all that, you know, like rapping and everything. So, is that something that like you're pursuing? Like, you want to become an artist, or is it just something that you're just
entertaining
part
yourself
of? Yeah, part of like.
So at first, I was very involved on the rap scene, like, you know, very like musically, from writing and rapping. I think now, honestly, I don't have the ambition to do it, but I understand it has to get done. And what I mean by that is like it's too many times where I feel like a lot of artists, we're on the losing side. Like, we gotta go do features, we gotta go do shows and sell merch and stuff. And for one of my goals is like, dog, I want to get to the winning side where it's like I can, you know, look back and be like, man, it's not even about the Grammys or nothing. It's just like, man, I want to say I've achieved or reached a certain level. That the personal level for me is just like getting to a level where it's like, nah, like I'm respected that I really can get down and rap. So
yeah.
But
that's like your goal.
I don't know. Like it's in my mind, but I don't know if I really want to do it.
I feel like because you said it earlier, like you're like a jack of all trades.
That I feel like that holds me back.
I was gonna say, I feel like because of that, you fully can't commit to that one thing,
right?
Because you're gonna either
like
you enjoy it, but I feel like you might get bored if you commit 100%.
Like even now, I try not to shoot other people's. I try not to take on work to focus on my stuff because, like, I'll do music videos or something, and I'm kind of like, man, I don't like. I'll literally turn down work if I don't like the song. Like somebody be like, hey man, such and such want to work with you. They trying to do a video. I'm like, send me the song, let me listen to it. And then I'll just be like, nah, I'm not really interested. I'll tell them I'm not interested. Not to be disrespectful, but I'm real big on my time. I'm like, man, I just want to do dope shit. And some of that is music, some of that is video. I'm real big on original content now. So I did a film last year. It was a short film, but we did a film and it was original. Like we put our own cast together, our own crew. The fact that like when I seen the results of what it did, and the impact it was making on people, the eyes it was getting quickly, I was like, man, like, it's hard for me to shoot somebody else's content and not shoot my own. So that was like, or even the music, my music video, like, Chris was like, hey, who's directing the video? I was like, me. like, what do you mean? You know, but it's one of those things where it's like, I had a certain vision and, you know, I could have easily shot somebody else's video, but I don't mind spending the money to create the vision that I have. You know, some of that is merch, some of that is, even the jewelry, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's certain things that, you know, I feel like I got to get off my list and try. So, like, now I'm trying to get bigger. I'm trying to get into the film side. Slow down on taking on other people's work. Like, hey, can you shoot my I don't shoot no BTS videos or footage. No photos, no partying and clubbing, no DJing, none of that. Like, even to the homies, I'm like, bro, I can't really be like out there shooting your stuff
and not do mine. And a lot of times, like, I'll turn down consistent work for that reason. It's like, bro, I know you need me every week, but I'm not doing it. You know? Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, go.
No, you're gonna lose your train of thought.
No, I have it.
Oh, say it.
Okay. Now I was gonna say, cause it's I think about that whenever I watch vlogs or I watch just people's stuff or whatever, like when they have people following them around, like for the like BTS, you know, footage and stuff, and I'm like, man, they're really there, like throughout the week. Like, what are they doing outside of this? Like, this is their job, you know, like following people around, you know.
And it's the edits, like, bro. Perfect example, Kiotti, like, he needs a system where, and he has it, but his system is, hey, I need content, I need consumable content, and I need it quick, like today quick. So shoot today, edit today. And it's like, dog, I want to go play golf. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to, like, I'm big on myself, and I'll lend and I'll give. So for a good while, I'll be like, hey, I got you for, you know, here and there, or onesies and twosies here and there. But for the most part, I'm like, man, I think I'm going to start steering in my direction and marking off the things that I got in mind. So
yeah. So then, since you're able to turn down jobs, where you're getting your income?
Pretty much, I got money saved up, you know, from selling my house. I do enough work to stay consistent to where it's like, instead of me taking on, like, for example, most music videos I charge like $1,500.
Oh, okay.
So like, I keep my debt to income ratio pretty low. Like, I try, tamale time.
That's why I told you it's good to wear the headphones.
Right.
Damn, I might have to edit that out. That was crazy. That was a crazy sound.
You can't edit it out.
Yeah. Wow. Like, that shit was wild. But that's an income ratio, bro.
Oh shit.
Nah, that shit was crazy. I don't know. I'm hungry. All I have is water in me right now. But
I try not to spend that much money. I try not to like even my finances I've cleared out. Man, I owe like 10 G's in student loans. All that's gone. I don't have a car note. Don't like my credit cards. I used to have myself maxed out, like $4,000 credit cards maxed out. Now it's like 10% of whatever card I got.
Yeah.
So I'm just real big on the less money I spend, the more money I have. But it allows me to, like, instead of me having to, you know, knuckle and bustle 4 videos a week, I might do 1 a week or 1 every 2 weeks.
So you can focus more on yourself too.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn, that's dope.
That's definitely something I need to take into account, like, for myself.
Yeah.
Facts. And I also do like commercial work to where it's like, so pretty much I do this full time, like content.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you that. Do you have like a full-time job, or is it this that you do full-time?
No, this is full time. So yeah, I pretty much work for myself, make my own schedule, and try to build. So, or this is the funny part. I'll have a project in mind that I may want to do, and I'll reach out to that artist or to that actor. Mm-hmm. Like it's a couple actors I'm working with too, and I'll be like, hey man, like, let's put together a budget to create something for us.
Yeah.
Like, so you're involved, but I'm involved too. And they're like, man, dope, because I'm tied to, you know, whatever they got going on. So a lot of times they're looking for content, you know, or even commercial work. You know, people are looking like, hey man, can you come? I filmed at Toyota, like the dealership. Mm-hmm. I filmed at like Chevy. There's different places that, you know, they'll need something quick.
And they reach out to you, or you reach out to them?
I got the relationship, so most of it I've now they reach out to me, but before I was reaching out to them. Yeah. Oh,
okay. Yeah. Like through social media or what?
A lot of it was like in person, like, you know, like in person conversations. I remember the biggest gig I seen, that I didn't get paid for. I got paid for it, but I didn't get what the person got. And it made me think different. My homie, he got booked for, I'm not gonna say what company because somebody else might go take this gig, but they paid him $30,000 to shoot content. And he didn't tell me till after, but I asked him. I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm not gonna try to cut you out or nothing, but I'm curious, what did you get out of it?" He was like, "Man, they cut a check for 30 G's," and I was like, "Dang!" He paid me $1,500 for like 2 days, so it was 2 days of work. But they paid $1,500
in 2 days is
it's still good.
That's still good, and I was happy with that. But when I heard the 30, I was like, "Oh, bro, hold on, like
you played me now."
Yeah. But what'll happen is like I'll go do a video for $500 somewhere, and then it's like they're needy. Can you, this and that? And I'm like, so I make it clear now,
Yeah, that's good though, because I feel like, I mean, I guess because Rollie focuses more on like graphic design, right? Yeah. So it's just like, how would that fit in that? Like, because yours is more
because like, where do you find a $30,000 graphic design job? I mean, or do they ever even go that high? But then
I think it's setting the standard and knowing how to complete the package. So with me, I'll tell somebody, hey, look, this $1,500 that you're spending with me for this music video, it'll include the location. You're getting X amount of time. It sounds basic. Like through text, it sounds whack. When I talk to people, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna work with you to get the result that you want. I understand the vision that you have. I'm gonna take your input. Let me do the creative part. Like I like, cause some people have ideas. Hey man, I was thinking about this. I'm like, cool. Like I'll consider that cool, but I'm not gonna be doing 3 or 4 revisions. I'll tell them like, hey, it's one. You get 1 revision or 2 revisions depending on what they pay. But bro, you're getting dope ass drone footage. You're getting BTS photos. You're getting like the whole package. So you can go spend $750 with homeboy and take like 6 months to get your video back. I have it back in a week, bro. Like I got time to do it. So it's like,
this is what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that's dope.
Yeah, cause I've been thinking about that. I like, cause I'll get hit up and just be like, how much for a flyer? How much for a t-shirt design? And then it's like not that much, I mean, it's past 100 whatever per project. But I'm like, how do I make it to where I can have like a $1,500 project and shit? And it's like, okay, well, let me design your whole collection. Like, book me for your whole collection. It's gonna be, let's say, $1,500, and then you get all these designs and you'll have them in a week or whatever.
Or have like the right like the right person or like just a consistent client that
I think the consistency is dope too. So sometimes I'll shout out to Steve-O. He taught me this. He was like, he would have these monthly retainers to where you'd pay him like $1,000 a month, but you come to the studio like 4 times a month and once a week, for like 3 hours. Yeah. He's like, whatever you want to do. You want to shoot a video, we can do it. You want to make music, we can do it. And he knows how to deliver. Hey, you got a reference? Okay, I hear it's in this key. Okay, let me add some bass, let me add some guitar. Within like an hour or 2, he's already made the beat. But now that artist is like, dang, that's what's up. Like, I can if you want to, you can knock out a song every week, if you're that good. Yeah. Not Steve-O, he can do it. But the artist can be like, man, if they're good writing, and it's a package where it's like, bro, you can go spend, $50 or $100 for a beat, but then you still like, it's not mixed, or what I'm saying, it's not designed or tailor made to you, Like with him, we do like tailor made designs where it's like you're getting a unique package that you really can't find nowhere in the city. A lot of times, like I see it, people use the same transitions, or people, you look at all their videos and they have the same edits on each video, and that's cool too though. That's not a big deal, or it's really the time frame. Like people can't, like I will say this for small businesses, like don't make it difficult on your clients. A lot of times, bro, like people, but I'll have it to you by Sunday. And it's like 2 weeks later. It was like, bro, like now they have an expectation and you didn't meet it, Or
I do that shit. I do that sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
No, not facts, but it's I deal with that now, bro. I try to get like an oil change, or I try to I ordered some parts and they didn't ship them in. It's like, dog, like you told me it was gonna ship it last week, and it creates now I have a distrust where I probably not gonna come back to you next time, and I just try to apply what I know to going forward. Like, hey, if I say something, I mean it,
Yeah, you're like keeping your word.
Yeah.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah, straight up. I just feel like I need to practice that more, because sometimes you do feel like you can knock some shit out quick,
Yeah.
But then shit comes up. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like we went to go do the toy drive in Mexico. We came back and I got sick, bro. Like, and then I had just got over the sickness like earlier this week, and but I had told this dude, I was like, oh, I'm working on the design, like I'll have it done by
Monday or something. Or,
like Tuesday or whatever. And then that's when I'm like the sickest. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, like, but I didn't like tell him like, hey, I'm sick, like, because now he's like, whoa, wow, first you go to Mexico, now you're sick, like, what's next?
That's how he looks at it. But
so I'm just like, man,
I think that's the part where, because I know with me, like, real life happens, bro, and I try to be as transparent as possible. Like, hey, look, you know, I've done it, and I'm gonna tell you my real reason. When it comes to videos, like if I don't edit within the first 2 days, I'm probably gonna wait like a month to do it. I just don't know. I hate like even my content because I hate editing. I don't care about it. I don't like it. I like the shooting part.
Yeah.
So I'll tell somebody, hey man, give me like 2 weeks to do your video. I have it done in about 2 weeks. But in my mind, I have it done in like 2 or 3 days. And they're like, so now they're like, oh dog, hell yeah. I was thinking, you know, but that's my little cheat code. But I'll overshoot it. You know, like, hey man, it's gonna. Or sometimes I know I got a video today. I got one Friday. I got one Monday. So I'm like, man, let me tell them like 3 or 4 weeks. And then I might knock out all of them in one day, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Damn, that's cool though. But did you have a? I was gonna say.
I did remember what I was gonna say when I forgot.
Oh, what was it?
I know it's going back to the convo, right? But I was just saying how it's because I forgot what we were talking about, but I was like, oh, it's not it's hard to meet a celebrity or whatever like at the place of at the time of an event or where they're doing what they're doing. So it's like
when they're working.
Yeah, when they're working. So it's like I don't know if it was because of the Manny Fresh thing. I forgot what we were talking about. But let's say if Chamillionaire is performing and you want to meet him that day. Yeah. Or if a basketball player is, you know, playing a game and you want to meet him that day, it's like that's not the time, you know. Right. But it's like it's when you build relationships, or with like Crystal Poppin' or whatever. It's like now I'm just jumping around and shit, but no, I got you. It's pretty much that was my point. It's like trying to meet them at the place of work or whatever is where it's not gonna be at, you know. Yeah. And then going back to your artistry, it's like because sometimes I look at Crystal Poppin's team, you know, and I'm like, all right, well, she has a manager, she has like the media videographer and everything, and then her being the artist, and I'm like, look at that, and I'm like, man, I want to be all three of them. You know, like you want to like be the artist, but then you like the way that they do their videos and shit, they handle and everything.
I think so that's the part where I'm trying to figure out now. So I will say this: me and my homie Benji, we did a film the end of last year, and we have the ability to like, you know, we got the equipment, we got the cameras, we got the lights, we got the audio. So we was like, we got the script, we wrote the script. You know what I'm saying? Like we had the whole package. We was like, bro, we can shoot this. So we shoot the film, but we try to play every role. Hey, is audio recording? hey, is this and that happening? And like, you know, which you do have to, you know, check to make sure everything's good. But the issue was like we wasn't looking at the script, so we forgot like. We forgot like, oh, we didn't get that one part where this and that happened, and that was supposed to tie into the next part, right? Yeah. And
you're all over the place.
So now it left us like our biggest goal for that film was, man, we want to do a film and we want to finish it. Like that was our goal, because a lot of people do films and it takes like a year or two for them to even put something out. Like we was like, man, let's just do something and get it done, you know. And then since we said that and we have the abilities, it actually shot us in the foot a little bit, because like it still did good, but it's like we look at it like, man, it looks cool, but it looked like some, you know, Tubi or, you know, some YouTube shit. Yeah. It was like, nah, now we want to shoot some Marvel, you know, some Marvel shit. So it was like, all right, now I was telling him, he was telling me too, like, man, the next one we do, or if we do another one, I'm not gonna be the camera operator and the lighting guy and the audio guy. I'm gonna hire the dopest, you know, one of the dopest video niggas that do it. My bad, Calculus.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My bad. That's ring shit.
Oh.
But yeah, my goal is like, let me just put the right people in place, hire the dopest video guy, the dope audio guy, or even hire somebody to make sure we're getting all the lines on the script, and then I can kind of see the vision of, okay, this is how it's gonna look. Like jump into the director role. Yeah. And again, a lot of times since we have the ability, you know, we think we have to do it all. But
that's the problem with jack of all trades.
Yeah. Well, we're on that topic though. Like, when you're thinking about like, okay, well, we need to hire people or whatever. Are you thinking like, okay, payment wise, like? Yeah. You're in because you're in the position where you can pay somebody to do this stuff. Right. You know, like,
I think the biggest part we think about is quality and completion and what gets us there the fastest. So us trying to save money, like, oh, we got the equipment, but we ain't got no $50,000 camera, but we got like a $10,000 camera, or we ain't got the lens that they got, but we got this one. So it didn't give us the look we wanted. You know what I'm saying? Or it didn't. You know, there's parts in the audio we had to go re-record. You know, like because it wasn't recording that good. You know. So with budget, it's like, all right, let's hire somebody that has the stuff. You know, that has the equipment, and we don't have to go buy it now. Like, there's no need for me to go buy a $30,000-$40,000 camera when I know this person got it.
And you can just pay them.
I'll just pay them for their services, you know?
Yeah.
So
and then does it go into like, okay, for a videographer, you set the price, or it's the price they...
I mean, technically, I feel like everybody should have their own price in mind. But as a creator, like, again, what I do, I offer, hey, I have a budget for this role. Even actors, I have a budget for this role. It's, you know, X amount of dollars, but this is what you have to do. You know, do you want to do it or not? Or they'll be like, yeah, I'll do it. Or they'll say, nah, bro, it's not enough. Can you up it up a little bit? I'll be like, all right, give me some time, you know. But it just depends. I like to make an offer because sometimes people like, bro, like, I got time to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So,
or sometimes you might even be
like, I feel like I feel like if I ask somebody, they're gonna overcharge me. That's the like reality of it. They're gonna be like, oh, bro, it's gonna be 5 G's, but they probably would have did it for 2,500. So I don't lowball. I don't be like, oh, bro, I got $300. Can you shoot my movie? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not like that, but
because that 300 is wild, right?
Yeah.
But no, I was gonna say, like, it does come down to that. Like, it's kind of beating them to the punch again, you know, like where you come with the offer first and then see if they want to do it. Because if they're over here like, yeah, I'll do it for 5K, and you're just like, oh shit, like now if I give them my offer, is like you're lowballing them, you know?
Right.
Kinda.
Yeah.
But
it's good that you do start with an offer though, like I feel
and
like
usually it's pretty decent, and that, and then also I try to be as detailed as possible, because sometimes like with an artist, you be like, oh, can you do a song with me? Yeah, I got you, bro. It's gonna be X amount of dollars.
Yeah,
I'll be quick, and then they'll be like, they'll do the song, and then when it's time to you know, do a video, they're like, oh, bro, you didn't pay for the video, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll be like, hey, look, I need 12 bars. I'll tell them I got an open verse, 12 bars. You know what I'm saying? I want to do a video to it. Planning on shooting a video at this time. You know, one location. You ain't got to show up to all the locations. I try to make it as simple as possible. You know, as detailed as possible. Hey, I need a collaboration post. I need a YouTube post. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, all right, bet. Like, but if you don't say that, they'll use that against you. Like, bro, you ain't asked for that. You know, or now we can't do that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's pretty smart. Yeah. Like, you're building like a contract in a way,
right?
Like,
no, yeah, it's legit. Like, you know, contracts and stuff. Or sometimes it's just through text. But
yeah.
And Kiotti taught me that. He was like, bro, he'll deal with brands, and then they'll try to ask for more. He's like, nah, y'all didn't ask for that. Like, y'all asked for this, and that, and I gave it to you. Like now you're
adding more.
Right.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All right.
Let's go on a quick break.
Last break, and then that'll be it.
For sure.
We are back.
Yeah. So, we didn't leave off anything, did we? Like,
I don't remember.
I was gonna say no, because he wrapped up whenever he was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think because you were talking and you said, "Oh, I'm not gonna be that. It's gonna be real quick."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And then you finished what you were saying.
So for 2023, like, do you have any like goals or things that you want to accomplish?
Right. Let me look at my list now. I really do have a list to where, you know, it's small goals, like weekly goals. I mean, I got to do laundry, you know, stuff like that. But for big goals, I do want to do another film, but on a high quality level. I want to collab with, so like, I got a list of artists I want to work with, a list of creators I want to work with. So now I'm just building the plan to work with those. Like, man, let me budget, let me figure out the song, or, you know, the idea behind it. So pretty much it's gonna be film, music. I want to get into merch as well, but not. I don't want to be every role, like be the designer, be and all that stuff. So I'm trying to. I want to outsource that as well. Like, and really that's just to tie into the brand. So film, music, I'm in the market for a home, so looking to buy a home.
You have a realtor already?
Yeah. And also family. Like I'm really looking into. I'm 28 now. I don't got no kids or anything. So one of my goals is I really want to have a family.
Like settle down.
Yeah.
Like hear that, ladies? He's single.
Right. But I think for a long time I've been career driven, and it's like it's cool. It sounds cool when you're talking to people like, oh man, you know, yeah, I was working on this project or I work with this person, but man, I really do find joy when like I'm around like like even after this, I was telling you I'm going to a party. Like it's my homeboys kids party, bro. Like you know, and it's lit. Like I'm cool with stuff like that. So
that's funny because I feel like we invited like maybe like 2 guests right from the podcast to Milo's birthday, and one of the couples didn't have like a kid or whatever, right?
Yeah,
and they showed up anyway. Like,
and Milo ends up having a crush on the girl. Like, but it's dope though, like you know.
Yeah. So that's what I'm on, is just trying to, you know, create a legacy and build my brand a little bit more solid and go from there. So again, film, like a real film, music, not an album, but just I don't mind doing singles here and there. Like if I can do a single every month, cool. But I don't want to set like a harsh deadline.
Yeah.
Because anything I do, I want to come with the full package. Like, hey, it's the video, it got the look, the right person on the song, and we took it as far as we can go. So I would say even charting, I want to try to chart, and then, man, I'm cool on that. Like, you know, getting a home. I'm in the market, so if y'all got a home for no, I was kidding. But yeah, like the market's crazy right now too. That's why I haven't really settled out.
Or just find a girl with a house.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah,
that's smart.
2 birds with one stone.
2 birds, one stone.
That's true. What about so basically this year really is a focus on you type of year. That's good.
Right. And I started off pretty strong, like I said, I think I told you earlier, but took care of a lot of my debt. I had like credit cards and student loans and stuff, so I got all that's like even I think Biden had like a student loan forgiveness thing. It didn't go through though,
not for you?
It still hasn't even, they haven't done anybody's yet.
No, I've seen a few people that got it. Oh. Yeah, like your cousin already got it, Vanessa.
What?
For real?
Yeah, I seen that on Facebook. She applied and
because I applied and it was like, hey, it's on hold, bro. Like
she said she had applied. I want to say it was her. I want to say it was your cousin that she applied and that she had checked and it had changed. And then I saw like the comments. Some girls were like, what the heck? They haven't done nothing to mine. And she's like, oh, I just checked today. So like 2 of the girls out of the comments went to check and they commented like that theirs was gone too. So their credit score had gone up. Yeah.
With me, so with my military status, it went away anyway. So I'm good.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just like putting that system into place. It took a while. Like getting the right paperwork and stuff. But I was going that route. I was like, let me try to get rid of these student loans.
That's good.
Maintain my credit, and then, you know, even like vehicles and stuff. Like, man, you know, I want to like as an artist and a creative, you want to look like the part and like, you know, do cool shit. I want to go get the Teslas and C8 Corvettes, but it's like, man, you know, that becomes a bill, bro. And like, I want to live for something more than myself. And that's where it's like, all right, let me look into meeting the right people, being around the right people. One, from just connecting, and then 2, just build an actual relationship with people. So
I know it's funny because I ended up booking you without telling him that I was gonna book you, because you were already on our list to like book, right?
Oh, okay.
And then we just happened to like I don't know if it was who sent who a message, and then we ended up just like booking within that day that the conversation. Oh, wow. Remember, like whenever. But and then I just told him, like, oh, I already booked them, and he's like, oh, you did? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, for when? And then I told him, he's like, all right, that's dope. So he didn't have to worry about like.
Yeah, I think after your booking, I feel like we kind of like agreed to like where she's gonna do the booking now. Gotcha. Where, you know, I'll reach out, like if it's somebody I know, then we'll reach out, but then we'll send them over to like the This and Much More Instagram, and then from there, like.
Yeah, but since I had you on my personal, and I knew that it's somebody that, you know, we wanted to, like, you were somebody we wanted to get like on the podcast and just like talk to you, you know. And I was just like, okay, let me just book him real quick. And then it
That's
just happened. And then I told him, he's like, you did? Because he was going to reach out to you to book, right?
Yeah. That shows that you're on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard to find. Like, a lot of times, man, people be in competition for no reason. And, you know, it's hard. Like, so me saying, like, I want to do a family, man, like, I be looking into the people I'm around. Even the women, like, I used to get booked for like a lot of club stuff, and you'll meet people, and it's like, man, not judging people that drink or smoke, you know, but I'll look into the lifestyle of who they are as people, and it's like, man, I'm not really, you know, in the right environment. So because of that, you know, it's I feel like it's holding me back to getting to where I want to go.
Yeah.
So this is where the outsourcing comes in, where it's like, all right, if I want to do a film that looks like a film, let me get film people. If I want to do music, let me get the dopest. Like, I'm gonna produce some of it, but I'm not gonna be like over their shoulders. Like Steve-O, I'm gonna try to get Steve-O on some stuff. My boy Kez Jones, super talented artist and producer. Beans and Cornbread. You know, there's different people that I really rock with, that I've built relationships with, and do some records. But it becomes an organic, well balanced thing. You know, so that's what I'm on now.
That's dope. Like, I feel like you do have to place yourself in the environment where you want to grow and you know, keep going that direction. If not, then you're just gonna stick to clubs and
facts. Like, I got homies that, man, you know, every weekend they out partying and clubbing, and I'm like at home just watching, you know, Game of Thrones. I don't know why that's so funny, but it's like and this is a funny part. I watch TV shows where like I watched The Flash, you know, Arrow.
I watched Arrow.
Arrow is hard. Like, people sleep on Arrow, bro.
Yeah.
But
I never watched Arrow.
But man, it's when I watch shows, this is why I want to do film, because I see how they implement their ideas into a movie or a TV show, and they make it a film.
He's a good actor.
Oh yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
No, really, for real.
I believe it. Like, anybody that can talk or that like is not afraid to be on camera, bro, that's half the battle right there.
Yeah, that's half the battle.
No, I feel like I can't.
I'm not like, because I've had visions where like I'm like, all right, if this shit blows up, opportunities will like, you know, come to us and stuff, and I'm like, we never know, like we might be in a movie or some shit, and then and I think like to myself, like I've always wanted to like act too, you know, like I want to do all this media shit, and I feel like if it ever comes to a point where somebody reaches out for a movie or some shit and she's asked to be in it, she'd probably be like, I can't do this, you know? And I'm like, nah, you could do this. Like, and I just think like, I would tell her, like, I feel like you never thought you'd be in that position, but I feel like you probably
the podcast has helped me be in front of a camera.
Yeah.
But I don't even care for the camera, you know?
Right.
It's just, unless it's like, whenever it's just me and him, I'm just like, damn, why the fuck do I look like that? Or why did I make that face? Or, you know?
Yeah.
I critique myself a lot, but I think it's everybody really, right? But
I think we all do, yeah.
Yeah. But acting wise, I just couldn't, like, because he'll be doing some good job. It started in high school when I feel like that you kind of like maybe got into the whole acting, because I was in acting class, so I had to like play roles. Why the fuck was I in acting class? I don't know, because it ain't for me, you know. But I would go to his house and be like, oh, I have to practice this role, and he would just take over and do so good, and I would just stay like laugh, and like I just couldn't do it, like do it seriously, you know. And then sometimes we'll be watching a movie and I'm like, oh, and then he'll start acting like whatever happened in the movie, but he just looks too serious for people to think that.
No, that's dope.
He acts.
What I was you said something a second ago. You were like that if somebody presented you with an opportunity, like you would look into it. Man, that when I did my film, that's when I realized it's people waiting for stuff, bro. Like they would love to be a part of stuff, but you know, we get caught up. Like as a creative, as a video guy, I can easily be shooting, again, club stuff and, you know, music videos, which is always cool. Yeah. But it's like, dog, what if we can get people involved? I'll say this, like, I'll think of some of my favorite shows or movies, and it's a lot of actors I've never heard of in my life, but you fall in love with that character. Like, man, he killed that or she killed that.
The character.
And it's like, it has nothing to do with being a celebrity or nothing. So it's like, dog, people are, you know, and they might be celebrities, I don't know, but they're taking average people, putting them in an idea, and they're delivering a dope product. So like
have you seen The Office?
I've seen some of it.
Okay, well, you know,
It's
Dwight.
funny. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I don't think I've seen Dwight in another.
Yeah, he's in a horror film. I seen him. I was watching a horror film the other day, and he's in it, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, but it's just like.
But he was younger.
But his character to me is just like. It's like,
you
I've
see
never
him
seen
outside of
you.
that role,
I can't see him outside of that role. You know, so if I seen him in that
in a horror movie,
I'd be
crazy.
like, where's your hair or what the fuck is going on? You know, I feel like I just fell in love with his character as like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like
that's tough though. Like imagine being tied to
like Iron Man.
Yeah, like that's true.
Like he's just Iron Man, like forever.
But then Jim from The Office is Mr. Fantastic in the Doctor Strange.
He did that other movie, the one where they couldn't talk. The one with the monsters.
I forgot what it's called.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like they live in
He directed and acted in the movie.
Yeah,
with
him and
his wife. Emily Blunt is the wife. Damn, what's that movie? It's like you have to be quiet because it's like these aliens and then like they can't see but they have like good hearing. So it's like if you're walking like and you step on a branch or whatever, like they'll just come and fucking kill you, you know?
like
it's a good ass movie.
Yeah, you should watch it. And like I feel like I would see him as Jim, but he's a person that I can see in different roles.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like the character, like the Jim character, it was
So-
he's a good character, but
So the goal is to try to find a role that's like not the main role.
You kind of like want to like, you know how they have movies and then they're like, oh, so-and-so stole the movie or stole the spotlight or whatever. Like you kind of want to be that person, you know?
yeah.
Like, yeah. Like,
without being the main character.
You may not be the main, but like people can see like, oh shit, like, nah, they're the ones.
Like
there,
in Game
know?
of Thrones.
That little midget dude. Oh, he's super dope.
Yeah, so he's not the main one.
Yeah.
Well, I really don't.
He
It's
kinda
Jon
is.
Snow.
They put him.
Jon Snow's not the main character.
No,
at
it's
least
I
yet.
mean, not yet, maybe, right? But I'm trying to think at the beginning, like
I found out he's a Targaryen too. I was reading about it.
Yeah.
The
And
bastard.
you like spoilers?
I don't, but I can't help it.
Now, did you? Has he gotten to a point where the battle?
No.
No.
No, he hasn't. He's way.
Bro,
It's
crazy.
way too early.
It is
That's season 9.
Oh.
I
There's
think
9
it's
seasons?
I think
That's
it's
a-
like 12.
I thought there was 8. Bro.
Oh, I don't know.
Wait, let me make
Damn.
sure because.
No,
I
there's
was like, I'm
a
halfway done. Cool.
battle. Oh, Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
Sheesh. That's the episode name.
Bastards.
Yeah, because it's Jon Snow. He's a bastard, and then there's another one, and so it's like, bro.
Dang.
Yeah.
Best-
Oh wait,
best-
I think that I guess.
I hope it's 8 because
Oh,
I got 8
it
seasons.
is. It is
Okay.
8. You're right.
I got all 8 seasons. My homie put it on my hard drive.
Oh, bro.
Oh, he did.
He forced me to watch it. He was like, "Bro, just watch this one episode." I was like, "All right, bet." And
I
then
think you are.
I'm about to start season 5.
Okay, it's season 6.
Mm.
When you watch that episode, hit us up because man,
Right.
that was such a the Battle of the Bastards. Don't even go look it up or anything. Just
Dang.
watch it. It's wild.
But yeah. So anything else that you might have coming up?
Let me see. Man, I'm chilling, bro. Like, I'm real big on my time. So,
Yeah.
if I can spend my time, like, there's other hobbies I have. Like, I like golfing. I'm getting into golf. What else? And trying to, again, pull back from a lot of the extra work and just do original content. So, that's what I'm on. It's just original content, golf, music, film. Yeah, I'm chilling,
good.
man.
And what's your Instagram so like that they know?
Do I do it like here or
Yeah, you can just say it.
Antho Digital?
Oh,
Antho. Oh, my bad. Antho.digital. If I gotta be,
and that's your only.
I think so.
Yeah, right.
Like Instagram. They find you on YouTube, Spotify, and all that, or
Man, I got like a. Nah, like I got some channels, but I'm not tripping.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I feel like stuff like that gets complicated. It's like, oh, fine, like people be on stage. Hey, follow my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
But
bro,
I mean, so everything's like
Gonna
in
be
your
the-
Instagram.
Yeah.
Regardless.
On the you have a link or what?
Yeah, I got a link
just
tree.
goes to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well then, yeah, they just need your IG.
You
Right.
just need the IG. Yeah, and they'll find you anywhere else.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to go and like check it out.
So, yeah, so appreciate you coming through, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
for sure.
super dope.
yeah, this is a good ass episode, you know.
Yeah.
But again, everybody, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, And pretty much hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thank you, Antho, for pulling up.
Yes, thank you.
And that's it.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.